I'm the greatest.
Hello and welcome to Toke and A Talk. You are here with myself, Mandee and Kendra Hamill, and we have a beautiful guest tonight, which we are so excited about. Welcome, Kendra. How are you?
I'm doing well, Mandee. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to jam with this beautiful guest of ours who is our soul sister and our friend and our business partner and co-founder at Sea Goddess Healing Arts, Ursula Duffy, who is also an astrologist and an aromatherapist, as well as many other amazing talents. Welcome, Ursula. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, ladies. I'm excited to Toke and A Talk.
Yeah.
We're excited. We want to kind of dive in. So we invited Ursula on because she's ready to share like her story and her experience with, as we've been calling her lately, Mama Cannabis, and this beautiful healing plant that's been helping us along our journey and has brought all of us here to Toke and A Talk. So maybe we'll just pass it right over to you, Urs. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, and my journey with Mama Canna for sure has been an interesting one. So I guess let's just start at the beginning. And some people that have been on the show have shared their experience of growing up with the DARE program and all that stuff, and having it be completely stigmatized and so much fear surrounding it and doing it and all that. So I was born in Atlantic City, and I grew up in a neighboring town on the same island called Margate. And I went to Catholic school for 4 years. And then I went to public school after that in Margate. And we had all the presentations and all the things with the police coming in, bringing their suitcases of, and all of that stuff, and the whole DARE program and all of that. And it was completely like fear. You're going to get arrested if you do this, and this is such a bad thing, and blah, blah, blah. And of course, growing up, that's your education. So that's what you believe, because there's really, and that's like the same standpoint that my parents had as well. And just being raised Catholic and all of that stuff, like I used to go to church every Sunday and stuff like that. So there was a complete stigma and total fear around it. And what was the other thing? Oh, I remember all those commercials, like this is your brain on drugs, just all that stuff. So completely absorbed into that mindset, I guess you could say, with nothing ever in my life. At that point, I was like a straight edge student and all that stuff. So it was just something I thought was horrible and bad, and something that I was going to get in so much trouble if I even did or associated with. So I just never even tried it. And then I went to high school, and pretty much my freshman year, I had the same mentality. And then my first ever boyfriend, that was a huge thing. He smoked all the time, and I had a huge problem with it because I thought it was such a bad thing. And what if I get caught with you? What if my parents smell it on me? Like all the things. And then something happened when I was 15 after that relationship ended. And I just became more open to exploring and trying new things, and stopped going to church and just wanted to, I guess, see what this was all about. So I smoked for the first time when I was 15 with a group of my very close friends. And I think at first I didn't think anything happened, but then we went out to eat to a local pizza shop in Ventnor, and everything was hilarious. So I realized then that it did actually work, and it was so much fun, and we didn't get in trouble. And all of the things that I felt like I was taught were not really true. So I kept dabbling here and there all throughout high school and college, and it became more of a tool to enhance my creativity. I used to write poetry a lot, so it really made my writing kind of next level for me. It helped me connect more to the cosmos and stuff like that. It was really like a broadening my horizons experience the entire time I did it from age 15 until the next part of the story, which we'll get into. But one of the things that I noticed when I was able to smoke whenever I wanted to was when my menstrual cycle first started when I was 11. I used to get these horrible migraines. So in being able to have, Mama Canna as part of my life, I realized that that was the only thing that helped my migraines. As far as taking away the pain, the nausea, helping me rest and sleep and calm down, all of the things that go along with that, the medications they tried to put me on never worked. And for a long time, I controlled it with changing my diet. But the few times that I would still get them, marijuana was the only thing that helped. So it became a very important medicine in my life. And then fast forward to, I guess you could say, I think it was like 2014, I switched. I was a federal contractor for a really long time, and I was switching to a different company. And part of their policy was random drug testing. So in 2014, April of 2014 was the last time that I had smoked until August of this year. Because the policy was drug tests to get hired, quote unquote, hired or transferred to that contract. And then there was always a threat of a random test. And the consequences were, if you got caught, if you got the tap on the shoulder and had to take the test, it was you can't return to the site or return to work until the test was negative. And I carry a little extra body weight. So I knew for me that could be like months and months at a time. So I just chose not to do it just because of the risk. So that was that. And it took my medicine away. I kind of feel like, I understand where they're coming from with policies like that, but I feel like it's a total invasion of privacy. And I left the corporate world in August of this year. And about a week later, I smoked again for the first time in 7 years. And now I have my medicine back. And I'm just starting to reincorporate it back into my life.
I think that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing it all with us. And I'm excited that, you get to reincorporate it. I'm honored to hold space while that happens. And like we've talked about before on this show, like it's just such a bummer to be afraid to take your own medicine because of the risks that might be involved with it. And I'm really glad you're like drawing attention to that. Kendra, you're on mute over there.
Hi.
There she is.
Thank you. Ursula, I think, I feel you so much right now because, I know what it's like to not be a rule breaker, to be a good little girl and a good little boy and follow the rules. And in the meantime, you're having consequences with your health and your, day to day for a job. And it's just, again, it's a plant, it's medicine. You think it makes people turn into whatever people think, marijuana, whatever, that we're crazy or whatever. And here you were able to just make that, here's a marijuana user at a young age too. You started smoking when I did, when you were like 14 years old, like, and I feel like, we're good people. Like at the end of the day, just because you use marijuana, it just shows you that we are responsible. We are good people. We are like responsible to a T. And like, it's just not fair that, you're allowed to binge on alcohol and go into work the next day, but you can't have plant medicine and go to work, the next day. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Bizarre to me.
Yeah. And just choosing to use something natural, like, I changed my diet. I chose a natural medication rather than a prescription that didn't work in the first place. It just made me jittery and knocked me out, where I could smoke when I had a migraine and still function and feel better, like feel so much better.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that are the same, that get, constant migraines, chronic migraines, and marijuana is the only thing that works for them.
And it affects more people than we even know. I believe it's like so common, especially for women. You know, that they're very common and they're painful. They're probably like the worst thing. I was getting them for a while before I got my home office set up, and I had bifocal glasses, and I wasn't, I guess, using them properly. I forget the name. There's like two different lenses. So I just had them on my face all the time, but I would take them off when I would sit at the computer, and my eyes just started adjusting, and I was getting these like mega migraines, like
Oh.
for 3 weeks. And yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah,
to-
and all throughout my college experience, I'd smoked and I got straight A's, and it didn't affect me in all the ways that I was taught, you know, when I was a kid. It actually made things better. It made me function better
Amazing.
with also having that tool for when I had, you know, the occasional pop-up migraine in addition to everything else.
I think I love how you called attention to, like, I was always a good girl too. And I was always like kind of high functioning anxiety because I was such an empath and such a good girl. And I feel like this has been one of the best medicines for that, for my mind, body, soul, spirit, all of the aspects, because it's helped me to calm down and find my center and find my peace and sharpen my senses in so many different ways at this time. So I'm glad you're drawing some attention to that, because it really is a balm for those who have experienced those kind of wounds, and it's good girl wounds and that traditional like conditioning, and having to deprogram that, as well as just being like a sensitive empath in this world and what that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it enhances my creativity again. It's just like it's like a rebirth in a way. But it's interesting too, because my whole spiritual awakening experience happened during the time when I wasn't smoking. 2015 was when it really started. So it's curious to me how that all worked out as well. Yeah. So I guess just having the you know, unenhanced connection during that whole time was, you know, part of my path. But now that I have both back in my life, we'll see. I'm excited to see how it unfolds.
I got to witness Mama Canna work her action on you. You want to share that experience at all?
Which time?
Recently, when you had a headache and you were on the couch.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I had a bit of a hangover. I overdid it a little bit on I think it was a Friday or a Saturday night, and it was horrible. It was horrible, and I mean, I was just like, I had some beer, like I don't know what happened. So yeah, Mandee was like, well, why don't you just try and, you know, take a toke? And I'm like, I don't know. I was just, I'm so like, I'm deprogramming from like,
you were
just all the
afraid
things like, oh, I
was
can't
gonna make it worse.
Well, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, just because it's been so long, and I'm still like, oh my God, can I do that? And actually, yeah, you can, because you're free now. So I did. I took one hit and it was all gone. So that too, like not having that. It was fast too.
You bounce back like someone who has Parkinson's getting their toke or their like droppies. Like you were like dead, and then like like back.
Yep. And I was like, all right, we're going to the beach. I'm off the couch.
I was shocked.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. It really was. And it's just and that's all. It was also like that whole experience too could be very similar to the symptoms of a migraine. So for me, it just works so perfectly with all of that, just like the nausea and the headache and all that stuff. It just takes it right away.
Yep. Nausea, you know, headache, body aches, my type 1 diabetes. Like I've been having crazy blood sugars. Like type 1 diabetics just get it. And you like, so you go like, you know, you're doing great. And then out of nowhere, it's like this curveball comes in and your blood sugars are like you're just driving on a wet road. Like you're all over the place. And oh my God, I guess just from getting older and having it for over 30 years, that I'm becoming more sensitive to it. So like when my blood sugars are going like through the roof, I can literally feel the difference in my heart rate and my pulse, and like almost like maybe something thyroid. It's crazy. So it's like hormonal and blood sugar related, and it's a big mess. And so I'm tired and my body hurts like I have the flu. And if I just can have a little, puff of THC, okay, because I'm smoking CBD, I'm smoking TH or Delta 8, I'm smoking all of that. I'm talking about THC, like that's what my body wants and needs.
That's what it does for me. THC and flower.
So like all these other ones, they're like, I'm trying things and it's taking the edge off. But just from my experience, I'm realizing there's a difference. And I don't know. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that right now, because I just smoked a little I don't know what that was, CBG, wild cherry something. And I'm a little, I don't know, out there. It's not THC.
Enjoy it. That's what I was honoring you. That's what I crave. I crave like bud. And I was just like taking a little road trip in New York, and they were talking about, there was like commercials from like state of New York. Like, are you a medical marijuana patient and you're ready to consume flower? And they're going to like set up this whole delivery service and stuff. And if you don't just want tincture or oils anymore or edibles and you just want flower, well, your time has come, and like all this stuff. So there are definitely states getting into it and people ready for it. And for me, like I've always said that, like I've tried all the edibles. I'm not saying they don't support me. They support me at times, but like my go-to is just puffing on some flower and just eating flower, and that's it. And some days I need more, some days I need less. For me, it mostly supports my body and releasing my pain. And then it also really helps me to focus and like boss up. And like our friend Serena says, like stoners are running the world. And like Ursula said, she still got straight A's. Like it's helped me to become like a lot like sharper and more focused. Helps you step into the art of not giving a fuck a little bit and stepping into your own light and boundaries. And I'm not saying you don't care or anything, but like where you might have looped or like told yourself, oh my God, like I hate myself, or I'm so worried, or I did such a bad job, where you'd be like, all right, I'll do better next time. Onward and upward. Let me go get creative and focus. And it helps you to bring back like harmony into your cells and into your body and into your self-talk. So it's something that just supports me throughout my day for my mind, body, soul, and spirit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really feel for everybody that is subject to that kind of policy for work.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's, I'm sure, thousands of people out there that were in the same position as I was.
Yep.
Most people, I'm like, oh, if I offered somewhere, we're talking about it, or we smoke or something, or, oh, I used to, but I can't for work. I would if I didn't have to work. I would if I didn't have, and it's like, what the fuck? We can get wasted all day, every day, and we're glorified, and it's, happy hour. We made it 5 o'clock. Let's do it. We can show up hungover, but like you, like I said, continue to say, I feel like to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you can take all the Xanax you want all morning. You can take all the other things you want, but feed.
Have a plant.
But I think that's changing. I think the plant speaks for itself, and it really vibrates truth. And it told all of us the truth. And like, I was that good girl who thought it was the worst thing in the world. And it wasn't until I released like all of these pain pills I was on that I embraced it and was like, I was lied to. This was the medicine I needed the whole time. And I'm not saying like children should be anything like that. I have seen amazing work, and what it's done in like liquid form for seizures and epilepsy and things like that. But as an adult, it's been an amazing medicine. And I'm a big advocate for it for myself and for many other people.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the whole thing too, with it being illegal in other states during that time. I went to Colorado, and that was actually the first time I was ever in a dispensary. And it was just like a free for all as soon as we landed in Denver, and I couldn't partake. And I'm just like, I'm in Mecca right now. and this sucks. Like, and it was good too. You could tell the quality was fantastic.
We're gonna have to go back.
Yeah, where I can make it my playground instead of my, oh, you can't do that. Yeah. Yeah, but New Jersey, it's nice that it's finally, everything's coming around and people can have their medicine legally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And I think in general, and I don't want to get down on it because we are opening it up and little by little, state by state, and the people are saying what they want and we're talking about it. And just last week, we had a beautiful episode with a veteran, and so many veterans are needing this as medicine and choosing it. And so many people in all kinds of different facets, and it's supporting us in all kinds of ways. And not only that, but it's incredibly sustainable in so many other types of products that we're needing and that are going to serve the planet. And like I said, it just resonates truth in so many different ways. And the more we keep honoring her and following her and, really just seeing where it leads all of us, things are going to keep happening and the people are ready for it and wants it. That's why it grows so quick and so easily all over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm really curious. It's like embarking on a whole new journey in so many different ways.
For sure.
Yeah.
Curious, and I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm even really asking here, but it's still going to talk. So we get to jam about random thoughts on our minds. So Ursula is an aromatherapist. Any kind of aromatherapy qualities to Mama Canna, the cannabis?
You just telepath me.
We do that all day. We're constantly telepathing. We're both Taurus rising. We're both like, structured, and we're always just like, oh, I was just thinking about that. Me too.
Yep. Yeah, I have a class in my queue actually for my school with CBD and aromatherapy and adding CBD to aromatherapy products. So I will be getting to that. So yeah, the answer is yes. Have I incorporated it into my practice? Not yet. I'm not sure about essential oils, but that's something that I can explore as well once I get into those classes. Nice. But I'm sure that it can only enhance the therapeutic properties. And somebody I know actually adds terpenes, which are the chemical components of the aromatic compounds. So it actually makes the whole experience of smoking even better because you're adding that aromatherapy quality in more, like it's already there in the plant, but you're adding it more. Yeah. So that's pretty cool too, to just get, like, experience those different aromas with like lemon and that kind of grapefruit and that kind of stuff. Yeah. So there are companies out there that actually sell the terpenes too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, anything with that lemon or pinene in it, it's very good right now because it's flu season, cold season.
Yes.
To be smoking that stuff because that's has the properties in it to help with, those types of things. So I love that. It's medicine, like it's just natural medicine. And I know I've tried lemon infused honey. I think it was lemon skunk honey in hot tea when I was sick, and it was, it's just awesome that I could medicate like that and be held by a plant, and not just be zonked out on like NyQuil or something, and not waking up feeling like you got hit by a bus. Like you literally wake up and feel friggin' fine. You're well rested, you have energy, there's nothing going through your veins, there's no like hangover, there's no alcohol, it's just the plant. So I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, those compounds are very antiviral, antibacterial. And I agree, Kendra. The last time I ever took NyQuil, it was a really long time ago. And I woke up in the middle of the night and my heart was racing.
I bet.
And I was just like, never again. Never, ever, ever again.
You can like hallucinate on it. Like that's where it fits me, because it spikes my blood sugar. So like I'll like zoom up into like the 300s, and then if I do have like some type of infection, I'm at 400 or 500 is normal for a diet.
Oh,
So you're already, blood vessels are constricting. You're going into ketoacidosis. Your body needs energy, so it's going to start burning muscle. That's what I go through when I'm sick. Like I go from like fine to like sick quick, and that's why it's like, I guess, dangerous or whatever to be a diabetic, because it just takes us a little longer to come back. And I could tell you every time that plant has made me come back quicker, every single time. So it's just, I don't know. I feel like I bring this up a lot on this show, but I just feel like type 1 diabetes should be, and type 2 diabetes should be considered a medical condition to allow you to get cannabis medically in your state. I don't see it on, I don't know enough about it. I'm going to have to look into it and see if any states do honor it, but I don't think they do. But I'm telling you, this medicine for diabetics is a beautiful solution. And I just want diabetics to think about it. That's all.
yeah. And you're living proof.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
I think it should be for any, disease or mental illness that anyone's requesting. You should have the opportunity to give it a try and see if it works for you, for what it is you're wanting. I was just thinking, I forgot all about it, but I remember I was totally addicted to NyQuil when I was like 19, 20, 21.
Really?
I used to be going to school full time and working full time. And I remember my mom talking to me about it because I would work all week or go to school all week and come home on the weekends and teach snowboarding during the day and then work at a restaurant at night and do that like on both days of the weekends. And then sometimes work like weeknights sometimes too at the restaurant. And like I had like sports, all kinds of shit. And I would just get home and I wouldn't have time to decompress or wind down, but I'd have to sleep because I'd only get I'm like an 8 to 10 hour sleep kind of girl. And I'd only be able to get like 5 hours or something. So I'd chug some NyQuil to like pass out and like get up and do it all again because that was, okay, or like kind of okay, or like the ZQuil and all that stuff. And back then, like if I only knew that I could just, take a hit on a bowl and like take a little nappy, like my life would have been a lot better. Now I was totally burning the candle at both ends, but so many of us go through that or have to go through that or don't have a choice. And like this is something that can really aid us in that as, an alternative. And yeah, I was like way too into that shit for a while.
Wow. Yeah. I know it's dangerous shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it was 800 milligram Motrin the entire time. I couldn't, because that's the only thing that would dull the pain to a point where it was tolerable for the migraine and knock me out. So, because the only other thing I had was sleep.
Right.
So when it would come on, I would know it was coming on because I get what they call the aura. So the visual aura, like I lose my peripheral vision.
Wow.
And never actually vomited, but I've come close.
Yeah.
So the nausea part is real. And and then the only thing I could do was take something that upset my stomach and just knock me out, which didn't help. I mean, I would get like, I call it a migraine hangover. So for like 2 days after, still like when I stand up too fast or something, like my head was just still pounds. So when it happens again, because I'm sure it will, I will smoke and hopefully, reap the benefits that I used to get when it was allowed to be my medicine so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're horrible. And I used to have like a, diary, and I would rate the pain. And like I said before, changing my diet really helped decrease the frequency, but it didn't eliminate them completely.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely helps my migraines. And also, side note for fun, Louise Hay in You Can Heal Your Life says if you feel a migraine coming on, you should consider self-pleasuring and giving yourself an orgasm to prevent
that
migraines.
Works. That works.
Yep. I got you.
Yeah.
Don't say we didn't teach you anything out there.
The other thing that works too is this pressure point right here. squeezing that really
Yeah.
hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're all about
Yeah.
healing here at Sea Goddess Healing Arts.
So
And I was just
Ursula,
thinking maybe we have a new newsletter coming out soon, and maybe we could send out a recipe from the Sea Goddess for a steam or something with your aromatherapy suggestions. Maybe something like that if you're into it.
Sure. Yeah.
Fun.
What were you going to say, Kendra?
Oh, so now that you had cannabis in August, do you see yourself using it all the time? Are you addicted to it? Like, do you feel like
No.
right?
I can count on one hand the amount of times I've partook since then. So
Yeah.
I'm easing back into it, but no, hell no.
Yeah.
It's a take it or leave it, completely whatever I want to do, which is nice.
Yep.
Just having the option again is something I'm
Yep.
still kind of just getting used to, because it was so long and I was just, did not want that tap on the shoulder and to get in trouble. And then I was even afraid to use CBD.
Wow.
Because I didn't know if that would show up. I mean, there was always that, like every day there was the threat. Even if we went away, like, if I came back, I mean, I just never knew.
Right.
And it just wasn't worth the risk because the consequences were too great.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
Well, it's so nice that you have the freedom now to just really do you and be you and have the option to use your medicine when you need it. It's
yeah.
not so much to ask, right? Like, there's just so many people that are doing exactly what you're doing because of whatever that company's trying to do. But I'm seeing it change with you guys, and I think we're getting closer and closer every day to it being illegal on a federal level, which will help. It'll help commerce, I believe, of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there's still definitely challenges, and I just think it's so important to show up and talk about it like we are. So I enjoy doing this with you guys for sure.
Yeah.
We'll need to hear it.
Yeah. I agree.
Thanks for sharing your story with us, Urs.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. So, as you all know, if you're still tuning in at the end, we are Sea Goddess Healing Arts. Ursula, will you share with our listeners a little bit about what you do and your magic in the world and how they can get a hold of you or book with you?
Yeah, I have a page on the Sea Goddess website that links right to my website. My company is called Ursa Alchemy, and I offer astrology readings, and I actually combine astrology and aromatherapy into astrological aromatherapy. So the one service I have on there called Astrological Aromatherapy includes a 60-minute birth chart reading and then a blend based on your birth chart, which is really fun to play with and experiment with. I call it your soul's aroma. And that's really fun. And that helps me, put both healing arts together, which is sort of the way they came together for me in my journey. And I offer writing. So I have a blog on there as well, and contributed to our first newsletter that came out in early November. And that's on the Sea Goddess website. But I also have my own blog on my Ursa Alchemy website. And I will be posting in about an hour or so about tonight's full moon and eclipse.
Yay. I look forward to that.
Yeah. And we have Taurus Rising. That's Mandee and my show. That's on our YouTube channel. And I have a whole bunch of podcast interviews as well that I've done on my website. They're all posted there, and there's links to all of them on my podcast page, podcast interviews.
And you just got published recently. And what?
Yeah. So I have an article on Holistic Fashionista. It's called The Reality of a Quote Unquote Midlife Crisis and What Your Soul is Telling You. And that's on the website now, and it's coming out in the print version of the magazine that they're currently working on. It's a little bit delayed, but it's their 66th issue, 9-year anniversary issue, and it's the last print magazine they're doing, and then they're switching the format.
Very cool.
So that should be coming out within the next month, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I'm just so excited to be collaborating with you gals. I love it.
I love it too.
I love it too.
It is super special. Kendra, will you share a little bit of your magic in the world and how people can get a hold of you?
Oh, Thank you. Well, my business is Higher Self Healing. I do offer distance healing sessions. Basically, just kind of had to change things up because of my move. So I'm going into more of the distance healing right now, and that's where my practice is at. Um, and I like to basically get to know somebody with a consultation, and then to make a custom crystal grid. So usually it'll be like, it'll determine the shape and what grid we actually pick. Um, and then I just intuitively choose the stones and kind of ripple them out and would ship them to the client, and then do a session like this over the internet. We would have our session when you got your grid set up, and I don't know, I'm excited. It feels really good right now. So I don't know, you guys are the best. I can be found right on the Sea Goddess Healing Arts website. You can find my page and book services through there. All of my services right now are being booked through there. So I don't know if any of my clients are watching, but if you're looking for a session, please just book through Sea Goddess.
Kendra's grids are magic.
Oh, thank you.
Magic and calm and beautiful.
Mhm.
This is actually one of her bags that I have here.
Aw,
I have the sacral
She's
chakra one right here.
herself.
yes.
Yep. And my name is Mandee Elam. I'm an intuitive ascension guide here at Sea Goddess Healing Arts. What that is basically a life coach with a spiritual twist. We call it take a look at what's going on now and why, and we call upon your angel team. I help people with all kinds of things, lots of positive things. If you're wanting to learn about the spiritual arts, or if you're in a positive transition in your life, for calling things in or looking for more empowerment, if you're going through grief, if you need help doing shadow work or manifesting or finding a little bit more peace in your life, whatever it is that the angels and I can do to support you along your path, we are honored to. I do tarot card readings and angel cards and using pendulums sometimes, and it's just a really nice time, and we call it holding soul space. So if you're ever interested in holding soul space, please reach out to me and book on SeaGoddessHealingArts.com. And we thank you all so much for tuning in with us here on Toke and A Talk. Give us a like, share, and a follow on Sea Goddess Healing Arts. And we will also have a YouTube page, and we will be having a Toke and A Talk page coming soon. And if you're interested in being a guest on our show, please email us at tokeandatalk@gmail.com. Thank you, Ursula, and thank you, Kendra.
Oh, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your story with us, Ursula.
You're welcome.
Mandee, thank you for all that you do and how calm you make me. Mandee and Ursula's services are definitely, like, I want to give away your services to everyone I know for Christmas this year. So
Aw.
I think it's a beautiful gift to give someone that opportunity to just be open-minded and to have, be in the healing arts and really explore it, because it's just a beautiful way to, I don't know, just a beautiful way to grow through life. So I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
too,
you.
Kendra.
Until the next TNT, we send you all peace, love, and the peace pipe.